In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you two stocks that are set to explode tomorrow and why you should keep it on watch. We're also going to look at the overall markets to get you guys prepared as always. Alright, y'all, let's dive into the charts right off the bat. We got the Nasdaq. And so far, despite the news that we received this weekend, the market managed to have a little bit of a rebound. Now, are we out of the woods yet? Are the bulls finally taking over the markets? Are we seeing potentially the beginning of a big rally? To be honest with y'all, I think it's just too soon for me to say. It's only been one candle. The volume isn't that convincing. I'm looking at the bottom here. It's not that convincing. The size of the candle itself isn't a bullish engulfing candle. It's kind of like, it's really hard to read. We're gonna have to be patient with this one. As long as the price of the Nasdaq doesn't collapse below 19.7, there is still hope for the bulls, and there's still hope for a potential rally to the upside. As long as that doesn't get taken out right here, right? But so far, it's down a little bit in after hours. So be patient, see how it's going to open in the morning, and then from there, trade accordingly, and most importantly, manage your risk. Now, looking at the VIX, let's check out the VIX real quick. So the VIX had a big reversal down to 15. Which is retesting the previous level of support right here. All right, so this is also something that you want to be looking at. If we see a big push in the market and the VIX doesn't move, be cautious about swinging between Tuesday and Wednesday. Remember, again, I'm gonna repeat it one more time. If you see the market running a little bit, even if it's like 0.5%, but the VIX is still stuck at this red band, be very cautious about swinging between tomorrow and Wednesday. Be very cautious about that. All right, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Now, another indices that we're gonna look at. Let's look at the Russell. And the Russell, ever since the breakout occurred, they had a little bit of a pullback. The gap at the top, which I talked about in last Tuesday's video right here. I really thought it was going to fill fully to 230, but the highest that it got was the bottom of the gap at 226.40 before pulling back. So tomorrow, there's a lot of stocks that are reporting earnings, a lot of small caps as well. If those end up putting out spectacular numbers, we might see the Russell 2000 push a little bit higher, maybe to 225. All right, it could surprise us and go directly to 230. Maybe it could do that, but that's my 2 cents on it. Now, the first stock that y'all should be keeping on your watch list for tomorrow, that one is reporting earnings, but it has a structure on there, so there is hope. All right, the first one is GM, General Motors. First and foremost, it had a pretty solid year, or I would say pretty solid 9 months so far. It's been uptrending from 27 all the way to 50. All right, it still got more room to go to the all-time highs. The structure that I see on here is actually on the 4-hour chart. It's right over here. There has been a bullish panic that broke out about, I believe, 2 weeks ago, right here. All right, and usually when things break out, you'll see me do this where I set alerts right here at the bottom, and I also set an alert where it's supposed to go, right? So my initial thought, without seeing this portion of the chart, right, my initial thought the day of the breakout is that it was going to go to 54 bucks. Could it still make it there, right? If earnings wasn't in the way, I would just tell you, hey, watch it for a run to 54 bucks. But since it is in the way, we have to play this game. They're gonna announce the numbers in the morning. So just watch how they do. If the numbers are spectacular and the reaction is great, watch it for a long, especially for an opening at like above 51 would be great. Above 51 is a phenomenal opening, right? That way the contracts, the at the money and out of the money contracts kind of get crushed. They drop, the value of those contracts drop to a better price, more like -30 or -40% to start off with, and then it runs to 54. That's what you want to see. You want to see big volume as big as this one, as big as 3 million out the gates. This is supposed to be an earnings play, and it all depends on the reaction. All right, keyword, the reaction is key. That first candle is key. The volume is key. All right, but watch this one for tomorrow. Then the next one that I want to share with you guys in today's video, it's Coca-Cola. All right, and Coca-Cola, I want to share it with y'all for a similar reason. If we go on to the daily, oh, multiple reasons now that I look at the daily. Initially I see a massive bull flag. The all-time high is not too far off, right? There's a bull flag on here. It struggled for a while to get out. It got out in a very choppy fashion. It might even look better on the weekly chart. Yes, it does. All right, so this is a huge bull flag, and with Coca-Cola we're gonna zoom in some more, and we're gonna look at the 4-hour, and the 4-hour has a bullish rectangle on the chart right here that broke out last week right here, and so far it's retesting it at the moment. If earnings was not in the way, this I guess we count as a re-entry if it bounces off. We want to see this thing curl slowly and move back up towards 65 and eventually take out these highs. The pattern doesn't fail as long as it doesn't get below $64.30. As long as it doesn't get below this white line, this structure is still in play. But with earnings in the way, things might actually accelerate depending on the numbers that they put out. All right, and similarly to GM, what we want to see is positive reaction to it. We want to see this thing open at exactly 65.50 right here. Anywhere from here to here is good, right? Because we're looking for the move all the way up to 68. And that's the move that I'm really interested in. But it all depends on the reaction to the earnings call, all right, and the earnings report. So keep these two stocks on your watch list for tomorrow. Now, let's answer some of you guys' questions. Again, if you have questions about a specific stock, drop them in the comment section of the video. I do look at them. And one of you asked about XOM, right? So let's check out XOM really quick. Let's clean up the chart. First impression, looking at the daily, it's off of it's not exactly a bearish engulfing candle, but it turned bearish really quickly. Right now, there isn't anything too obvious for me to go off of to know exactly which way it's gonna go. I would say just chill out and let a new structure form, because right now I see absolutely nothing and I don't want to touch it at all because I see nothing. Even the weekly charts, yeah, it's not starting off great with that tiny little candle right there. I don't like it at all. I'm not touching it because I don't know where it's going. I know it doesn't help, but eventually it's going to show something good, and I might even feature in another video with the knowledge of where it's going to go and when it's gonna get there. But for now, I don't see anything here. I just don't. Somebody else asked me to look at Palantir, and with Palantir, it had that structure from before. I mentioned it before the previous CPI report. It didn't quite go to 31, but it's been trading in a very ugly fashion. The trend is up, but this is just sloppy work. So I'm not touching it. I'm not interested in it. It's not moving in the way that I like. These aren't candles that I like in any trend. These are just terrible looking candles. I'm not touching it. Will it go down up to 31? Maybe. It's just dragging its feet right now. All right, so we're just gonna shift this thing sideways. When is it gonna get there? I don't know. As long as it doesn't get below 27.20, this structure, this play is still ongoing. All right. Now the last one that we gotta look at is Starbucks, because apparently they put out massive news on Friday, and somebody had a big stake on it. I think that's why the stock actually spiked initially. And there's also a structure on there, very hard to catch. And the move, like this big candle right here, happened within 1 minute. So unless you had an alert like right at 75, it's really difficult to catch the bulk of that move. But right now, I would just say wait. Set an alert right here at $79, because eventually those contracts, I'm sure the IV on a lot of the contracts are really high after a rapid move like that. So just chill out, wait. Eventually the bell is gonna ring, and when it does, the move up to $85 would be imminent. All right, $87 actually, because that's where the gap is. So that's my honest thoughts on all of these stocks, and that is the end of the video. Do not forget to annihilate the like button as always. I make these videos from Sunday to Thursday at exactly 10 p.m. Eastern time, so definitely click on that subscribe button and click on that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on future uploads. If you'd like to be part of a private Discord community where you can get all of this information in real time as I see them, you can find that at the first link in the description of the video below. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Paul and Guma and Patternology Lab on Instagram and on X. And lastly, to get some free stocks with Webull, you can use the third link in the description of the video below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Patternology Lab, where we trade patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you in tomorrow night's video.